The U.S. has sent that team of experts to Japan to help prevent a nuclear catastrophe at the crippled power plant where workers are risking their lives to stop a meltdown. And Juju is here with a look at these unseen heroes, the dangers that they are facing.
Absolutely. You know, what's happening is completely in a black zone. You can't see inside that plant. There's so much we don't know about what's going inside, in part because officials there have been unwilling or perhaps physically unable to get close enough to get a clear picture of what's happening at the core. What we do know is that the brave skeleton crew that remains are likely skilled volunteers willing to risk themselves to keep others safe. The images from space are haunting for what they clearly show and all that they fail to show. One hydrogen explosion, then another, now 4 crippled reactors. The latest one inside reactor 2, another partial meltdown. But what we don't see are the men inside, still trying to defuse that ticking time bomb. All but 50 workers left now that the others have been evacuated.
The workers that are staying behind to work on this plant really are going to be heroes.
Some 1,400 people worked at the Fukushima plant before this disaster. Now, just a dedicated few stay behind to help avoid the very worst. A nuclear disaster 1,000 times more powerful than the bombs of Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
They're probably not thinking necessarily that they're putting their lives on the line. Much like I think when a firefighter runs into a burning building, they're trained to do a mission.
Those men inside grow increasingly isolated. The evacuation zone started at just under a 2-mile radius and over 4 days is now 20 miles wide. As workers scrambled inside the bullseye to cool the reactor using fire equipment, hoses, pumper trucks. At least 21 plant workers have been injured from the blasts and fires. One anonymous source claimed the workers are in full-scale panic, some already suffering from radiation poisoning.
I would believe that there are workers there that would be willing to give up their lives if they thought it would make a positive difference.
Heartbreak amidst heroism, just like with the 1986 meltdown at Chernobyl. Thousands risked their lives battling the radioactive blaze. I traveled to the exclusion zone near Kiev more than a decade ago and met scientists who were continuing to risk their safety to help, as they say, kill the dragon they helped create. Now, the thoughts of a nation and the world are with those 50 unseen heroes in Japan, risking their lives to save so many others. Now, Japan's nuclear emergency is still considered far less extreme than Chernobyl. In the immediate aftermath of that disaster, 28 people died of acute radiation, but most who were exposed to deadly gamma rays recovered. However, a report by the UN many years out estimated that the long-term radiation-related deaths among the 600,000 liquidators, as the firefighters were known back then, was roughly 4,000.